Pay respects to their loved ones who are no longer here with us today. Today is a little bit different, 15 years on, because the world has come to join with us here in Ghana. We recently heard of the Hillsborough disaster in the UK. Margaret Aspinall, who has been working with them, is a good friend. We have also been dealing with her, with the families in the United Kingdom, and she wished she could have been here, but because of the court case, it was not possible, so she's not here. But this year we're very lucky. We have worked closely with the City Press in South Africa, and we have got two of the children of victims of the Ellis Park Stadium disaster in South Africa. And they are here to join with us today, to meet with our families from Accra, to meet with the families from Kumasi, and to help us celebrate what is a very sad occasion, and to make sure that the world does not forget. For 15 years we've been ensuring here in Ghana that the world does not forget. We have been ensuring that Ghanaians themselves have a greater sense of integrity, decency, self-respect, not to forget those who died attending a simple football match that was not managed correctly by people who should have been known better, and that their lives have not been lost in vain. Today I have two very special people. I never like to misrepresent or mispronounce the names of the people. So in a minute I'm going to let my two friends also introduce themselves today. The May 9th occasion is now a date in our calendar. The beauty of what we do with May 9th is that we integrate with the families. As you see, for 15 years, we've not had any political recognition, any political assistance. We've not had proper association with the Football Association. The people who are in authority, who should know better, have shown that they do not know better. The people who should have had greater concern for the families, not their political images, have shown over the years that they are not worth the positions in which they sit. The people who matter are the people who are here today. The people who matter are the families of whom we give respect to year in and year out, and we ensure the world does not forget. The May 9th disaster in Ghana, of which over 120 people lost their lives, is the second largest disaster in the history of sports anywhere in the world. The disaster that occurred at Ellis Park was also of tragic consequences. And many in Ghana will remember that after that horrific time in South Africa, I arranged for Accra Hearts of Oak and Kumasi Asante Kotoko to go to South Africa to play in the Vodacom Cup, to have the two nations bond together. I've only been very sad that over the years we've not heard more from the authorities in Southern Africa and those concerned to support the families of those who lost their lives. This year, we are here with representatives of South Africa. And the two people that I have with me, two extraordinary young people, I met today for the first time. They arrived last night. But in Mr. Rian Malan and Mr. Charles Cilliers, they told me a lot about them before coming. When they launched the appeal to see which families were involved, there were so many people whose names came up. And I know Charles said to me, you need to see these guys. He doesn't know them, but he's read about them. He's done a little bit of investigation into them. And they represent the future. They represent the present future of South Africa. If the young man qualifies from university, he may enter into international relationships. He has pulled his life forward, and is trying to make a success of himself, to make an impact. And I believe in the next 20 years, he will face challenges for other people, and he will know that he has a sense of responsibility, not to turn the other way, but to get society to also sit up and recognize that he was also a victim of a disaster. This beautiful lady to my left is now in the world of media. She suffered tragedy at the time and has had to pull herself together as well to now work and represent herself on a radio station in South Africa. I will give them a moment as well to say a few words. And I would just ask our families here to take strength as we suffer here in Ghana, that there are others who have suffered elsewhere, and you have one thing in common, and that is not the football, it's the strength of family, the strength of people who have not forgotten, and the strength themselves to say, you know, we are not going to let that become a negative in our world. We are going to pull ourselves forward. And I think we in Ghana must thank them for taking time off to come here today, to be with us today, from here to go to the stadium, to the monument, from there to see where the tragedy occurred here in Ghana, and then we go to Kumasi. We are blessed that the chief imam in Kumasi will be holding prayers for us tomorrow in Kumasi, and then we do our long road march on Saturday, after which it is that we shall be playing the FA Cup of FA Cups between the teams here in Accra, in Medina, in Ashaman, against the might of Kumasi in Abuabo on Saturday. So we have a full program that is extended, and we shall all be available. But if I may, I would like to allow first, I think it's ladies first, allow our guest here from South Africa to both introduce herself and to say a few words before handing it over to our friend at the end.
Thank you for such a warm welcome and for being invited. It feels like quite an honor to be here and just to be in the presence of such amazing people, and the support, knowing that we're not alone in the tragedy that happened. My name is Makhomu, and as mentioned, I'm from South Africa. I'm 28 this year, and I lost my dad when I was in 2001. I think I was 13 at the time, and since then life has been tough. And as Mr. Mensah has mentioned, we haven't had a lot of support from the PSL, but I think this year is a year of new beginnings, and obviously sharing this moment with people from Ghana is also quite something. Yeah.
Thank you very much. The cameras want you to move a little bit closer. No, not you. Himself. Is that right? Is that okay? Yes, stay broadcasters. All the TV stations.
I would firstly like to thank. Yeah.
It's a media event.
I would firstly begin to thank Mr. Mensah for hosting us, and Mr. Chester, because they've really shown great hospitality since we've come in this country. And the reason that we came to this country was mainly to show solidarity with the people of Ghana, because what happened here is something that also happened in SA, which really shows that these situations, disasters and everything, they're not unique to us as Africans only. Like, they've happened in the UK, they've happened in South Africa, and what we see time and time again is the accountable parties don't really take responsibility. So I would really like to commend Mr. Mensah, because I've read up on what he's done this side, and he's really been taking care of the families. Like, he's really gone far to make sure that victims of the Accra disaster were taken care of. And that's one thing I'd really like to see back home, taking away from here. Because this week, when I looked at the program, there's eventually going to be a march. And I'd really like to see that happening in South Africa. Like, I'd really like to see the authorities that side going further in commemorating the Ellis Park disaster. And yeah, mainly the reason for us coming here is to gain closure, in a sense, meet people who've been through what we've also been through, and find out if they've really made any progress. Because one thing I'm looking forward to is hearing about how the families this side have overcome the disaster. It's not only a matter of hearing about how bad the disaster was, but I'd really like to hear their stories and how they've been able to overcome what has happened. Because this is one situation which me and Mahom can relate to. So yeah, I'd really end off by thanking Mr. Mensah for bringing us out here. Thanks.
But you did not mention your name, sir.
Oh, my name. I got carried away. It's Ntlagani Pozu. Yeah. And my connection with the Ellis Park disaster is I lost both my parents during that disaster. And at the time I was 8 years old. So I'm 23 this year. Thank you.
It's they have difficulty.
Take your time and mention it as loud as you can.
Yeah, my name is Ntlagani Po, and my surname is Zulu.
All right.
Yeah.
I've heard from other friends from South Africa that unless you are a very good and amorous person, a good kisser, you cannot pronounce the way that you do. So we'll listen later.
So I think at this point we have other program at the stadium, but it wouldn't be bad for us to take or to ask, I think, maximum 2 questions from our 3
And then what
speakers.
I'd love is, since we came late, is to get the families who are in the household. That's who they really want to
We should also have something to tell. Also,
Yeah.
we want to know
That's
what
why
the
we
families
like
are going through.
So we need to get the families here. It's not just about.
Where are they?
Yeah, but we need to get them. Where's Mami's? Mami's is behind you.
Mommy, anyway.
Let her come and sit down. Stay where you are. Stay. Yes, it's very important.
Well, at least all of that is okay.
I can't stop this program to go there. Just wait 1 second. Please stay. Are you not fighting? This is the lady I was talking about, Mami Bessie. We've been following all this time. This is right here. You're here fashion parade. A lot of people will be bonding after she's taking the jam on.
Yeah, you were told by your sister.
Well, I think at this point,
I think Mami wanted to say something.
about how life has been throughout the years, or throughout the period. So this time,
And we've got our main lady from Accra. Today she's taking on this is the Accra Mami. She's taking the
so
black.
she's finally taking it.
Yeah, her sisters told her to remove it. Is that right?
So, Auntie, say, if you want to Kumasi and our people from South Africa, the best you can create a few honours. I want to will translate it to them and then we'll continue with the program at the stadium. So, in Tiano Pay, or nearby, the best you will say, Abrabona, CIA, or brave Chairman Few, also so by the say now, no, we have for Muku, say, Abrabona City, you will can central for the society. My microphone's in here. And you know better. So, our lady and gentlemen from South Africa, these are some of the victims of May 9 Accra Sports Stadium disaster. So, they are going to say a word or two. And we will make sure that we translate it to you in the language you understand. So, they are not going to say anything.
You have a mother behind you. Any language. So it doesn't translate it.
Hey, how's an
Any language.
Any language you think you have.
Any language.
Okay, good morning. Welcome to you all. My name is Rukaya Ali Tuluba, and I lost 2 brothers in the stadium disaster. After that, life is very difficult, but as Muslim, we have to give it all to Allah. Whether they are alive or not, we will still eat. But life is not easy. They are like breadwinners in our family. We all depend on Allah, but on them too. So after them, there is nothing we can do. No one is trying to do anything. I think it was last year when we met Mr. Albert. When we met him, Astaghfirullah, what I can say is he has done what he has to do to us. Since then, he has been friendly. Everything is going on smoothly. He helped us a lot. That is all what I can say for now. So thanks to Mr. Albert for now. Alhamdulillah.
Mama Bisi, we thank you very much. A round of applause. Mama Bisi, take a seat. Mama Bisi is a typical Kumasi lady. She speaks very good English. She's unique. She speaks very good English. But whenever I am around, she wants to speak Chi. So that I can, yes. So, Mama Bisi, 15 years in it.
Me fa mo cho ya fere mami bisi. Mi kun free mo May 9. Na menyam. E ba ne sa no life no enye easy mami kra. Enkola ni hwemo aye den, enkola ni school fees tuam omadi diem enzo ni nyina ye den nyame. E bi se o pa nyame a untumi nye den enye bibia. De bia fibia me de 15 years ni. Yeru Herbert was so musa. I could sit 15 years in Asu. In Timinian Mom South African by me Momo Yako. So we be silent, Atomo. Also, more shedding. No Yamim. No, my papa.
So, Chester, what did she say basically? Yes, I think I have to bring you into the picture. So, Chester is going to tell us.
The translation is basically the tragedy, at the time of the tragedy 15 years ago. She was actually pregnant at the time. And since that time to now, like in your case, life is not easy. In our culture, in her culture, the presence of a husband or a man is very crucial for survival. But she tries. We don't give up. They try. And she's appreciating all the things that Herbert has been doing for 15 years. All she knows is that he still remembers, he's still concerned about the pain, the tragedy that people go through. I think what the point she's also trying to make is that at some point somebody might say, oh, it's 15 years ago, forget it, move on. But it doesn't work like that. Life doesn't work like that. But she's trying her best in life. But she's so appreciative of Mr. Herbert and the team surrounding Mr. Herbert and the media who have followed the situation here in Ghana for the last few years.
Thank you.
And that is the girl, eh? That is the girl. The one that she gave birth to, the one that she was pregnant with.
Go out and